Let's just talk Disney for the whole hour.
Yeah, let's do that.
Disney?
All right. So as we just found out, we may be delaying the new website for a while because our programmers are going on vacation. And we need a programmer for go live. So this may take a little longer than we want, but that's okay. I mean, it gives us some more time to get into it and fix it.
How long is your vacation?
One is off for a whole week, and then enough is off for a whole another week, and they're in Europe, so they get like 6 weeks of vacation a year. So, I mean, who knows if they're taking multiple weeks at once? I've noticed a lot of people do that, so we'll see.
Wow.
But regardless, the information should be good, and hopefully you're using this website now as it is anyway. So, basically, hopefully you've seen this already. Hopefully you've had a chance to log in, play around a little bit. But basically, this is what the new homepage is going to look like. Just kind of from top to bottom. At the very top, we've got local headquarter or homepage number, toll-free number to Madison is at the very top. I'll tell you right now, help and contact us take you to the same location. So if you click help, it's going to take you to our contact us page where we want to collect as much information as humanly possible. We're going to, one of the move forward options is going to be just to make all of these required fields, but we want name, we want their organization, we want their email, phone number, preferred contact method, which we have in here basically as just phone, email, both. And then the reason that they're reaching out. And I can make changes to these if we need to, but right now, essentially, it's just customer service request, info request, order issue, product return request, sales inquiry, shipment inquiry, other. So basically, they just tell you, essentially what they need, and then they can type in whatever they want, and then hit submit. And what will happen is, once this gets submitted, an email will be generated to, I think it's WeOrders, and that will come in, and it can then kind of be triaged. So, but if you get them, one thing I would suggest, if you get something like this, email me and let me know so that I can close it on the back end of the website. Just because it doesn't create a ticket on the back end of the website, but it creates a call on the back end of the website and attributes it to the customer.
And so you don't know when we've retrieved it from WeOrders and dealt with the situation.
Right. So you'll know everything you need to know because they'll have submitted it, and in the email it will tell you everything they were asking. So you can call them or email them back and be like, hey, here's what it is, what you're looking for, here's the information.
Is there a way you can, when we respond to that email, have it automatically generate the email to you also so you know it's been dealt with? Can you ask the programmers that?
You should do that.
It would be something that we could, down the road, eventually, the goal will be to give all of customer service back-end access to the CRM, where everything can then just be handled right out of the CRM. You could actually email the customer back a CRM, or you could call them, and then you could log the call, and you could clear this out yourselves.
Instead of dealing with the email, you could call.
Until we have the functional CRM portion of it working, that's kind of the limitation that we're at right now. There will always be a sign in or sign out option at the very top of the page. But when you come to the homepage and you're not logged in, email address and password, just hit enter.
How'd you get back to that homepage from that help page?
You can always get to the homepage by clicking on the logo.
I already asked that already.
I think I figured it out one day and I forgot again today.
Vivian brought that up to me too.
Any way to put homepage near that, or home, or anything?
We could potentially add a tooltip there, but that's a pretty universal thing. Every web page.
You know what?
I did until
I look for the word home.
So, but if you're ever on another web page,
do that.
You can always in almost every instance, if you click on their logo, it'll take you right back to the main homepage.
Well, you gotta remember who we're dealing with here. These are.
I know. I'm gonna do. I'll be doing kind of, and who knows? Maybe this is a godsend. I can start doing I'm gonna do some short videos and I'll post them on the website. So new website
Good, yeah.
info type stuff. So yes, the logo will always take you back to the
All right.
homepage. We'll get into it, but you'll notice the main differences from this website from our current website. The search bar is bigger, it's more enhanced. It calls out a little bit more than the last one did. And then the other thing that has changed is there's no left column anymore where all of the product categories and stuff are. The product categories are now here under products, and it's all the exact same categories that it was. The one main difference is we don't have the drill in anymore. So if you were to click on the old website, abrasives, it would take you to a page where you would see, hook kit, loop, stick kit, whatever it is. We don't have that anymore. It's going to take you to all products classified as an abrasive,
Show us.
and then you can.
That was all based off of numbers, right? That number we put in?
And it starts in alphabetical, right?
It's based on no. So I'll get there. But basically, as soon as you click on abrasives, this is what it does. It just brings you to all abrasives, and I'll get into the filtering and all of that jazz. So
There is a way to filter, yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'll get there, I promise.
Right.
The next thing is the manufacturers. So there is no drop down anymore for them to select a manufacturer. You just hover over manufacturer, you come down, you have to click on the letter it starts with or whatever, and then this will change based on which manufacturers are there.
Click on one.
Click on the manufacturer.
Hmm?
Click on Ansel. So at the current moment,
Picked the wrong one.
Yeah, I picked the wrong one. I'll have to figure out why that.
That's part of Microplex.
Yeah.
So we should probably separate that out, though.
Yeah, well, and that might just be something I can hide on this end, because I'm guessing all Ansel is going to show up under Microplex.
You know what? I
You
guess
might
I
change
was more
that, though.
concerned with. I made you go too far. Like when you're scrolling and looking at all the vendors
Yep.
to get to their website, that little www is so tiny, and it's not like a blue clickable link or anything. Can that be?
Oh, you're talking about the line card.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
So I'll click on line card. So
That's because our customer base is an aging population.
I need it bigger and blue.
that's true. So essentially, the line card, the main difference between the line card, the current line card, and the old line card, is this line card will be completely maintained based on data drop from the SPC into this website. Nick and I will no longer have to, Nick won't have to custom create a banner for each individual manufacturer.
Okay.
We can actually come in here and just add in the information that we need to add in.
Cool.
Sweet. You already did that already from Mark, right?
We did that for most of it, yeah. Because all that's going to come over, essentially, is the code, the name, and then we have to add in the description, whether or not it's dropship. If there's a catalog, we can add the link to the catalog and a link to the website. Now, like you said, it's not blue or anything, but it is going to turn into a hand, here you can click on
But our
this.
customer's going to know that? What happens if you click on the logo? Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay.
It won't even.
Well, there's a double standard. You click on our logo and it does something. Click on me.
Well, but this is also the line card, so. And then they can kind of come in here and say, okay, well, I want to see if they want, if they don't want to click on a bunch, they can click on and show 100, and it will show.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can adjust by however many they want to see. If it's 10 records, 25, 50, or 100, and we limit it to 100 because load times. We want to make sure that the pages are loading
You
appropriately.
hover over line card in that top. You can also look for stuff from there, right? Doesn't it bring up the alphabet?
This one.
Oh, just under
Manufacturers.
manufacturers, not under line
Yep.
card.
Yep. Yeah. Line card is going to always be the full list of manufacturers, where manufacturers will take you to the products listed under that manufacturer, just like the current website did. I mean, it's the same functionality. So as you're not logged in, you're going to see Excel and you're going to see eOffice. If you click on Excel or eOffice, it will open a new tab. and it will take you directly to those sites. The current website was set up so that it took you to a landing page, and then you had to click again to go to the next site. We eliminated that extra step.
How do you, okay,
You just have-
when you click on Excel, what if you want to go back to the PBE homepage? You actually
It's
have to
just a new
close
tab.
that.
All you have to do is go back to the tab that you were in.
Close it, okay.
Why do you guys have that set up in a different tab, just because we're private label in Excel?
Whoops. Apple Watch. What?
Why do we have that as a tab?
What do you mean?
Because it's like considered another manufacturer, why do we have that on our tab?
It's a separate website. Well, it's our own private label
Is
manufacturer.
that why we do it?
Yeah, because it's our private label. We call Excel out because it's ours, essentially.
So there's a separate login for this too, I see. I never saw that before.
Yeah. Now,
People who are able to buy that product can actually do this.
yeah, but they can't buy off of this site.
Right.
So,
Oh, okay, okay.
And eventually we will migrate the Excel website onto an Oro site as a B2C site. That way someday we have the option of saying, hey, we want to sell direct to customer. I mean, we're probably not ever going to actually do that, but if we wanted to add the feature, we could. Not to mention it gives us more functionality.
Stuff you can't buy off the.
This stuff?
Yeah.
No, you can.
Well, you can create an order to PBE for that stuff. Okay.
Yep, and it goes to the vendor that we've been using for
Yeah.
everything. So anybody can. It just takes a really long time. I mean, it's not like Amazon. We custom do all that stuff originally. So same for eOffice. It will just take you to eOffice, the site.
Mhm.
The homepage itself. It's quite changed. We had just a number of banners. We did have a scrolling banner on the new one. So on the new website, we've significantly increased the size of the hero banner, and we've limited it to just 3. We could do more, but we don't want to, just because we want people to actually see them all. And we're going to try and change those out quarterly. The next block are basically just featured category type kind of things. So like right now we have Devilbus Air, we've got, Excel clears and primers, Raptor, so on and so forth. So each one of those will take you to that particular segment of product for those individual items. The next one down are featured products, and I can control this kind of at the drop of a hat. So if you see a product that we have on special that isn't necessarily here, let me know. I can add it right away. But essentially, these are all just products that are on sale at the current moment. I've got them on promo, and they can go in here and they can say, oh, I want to click on this one, and it will take them to that product page for that item. But then, they can come in here and they can see, okay, well, what else is featured? So I have a number of different options in here for them. At the bottom, we moved the About page from the top of the current home page to the bottom of this page. It's the same exact information. It's basically just information about PBE. Locations is just a landing page that will show all of our current locations. We'll have to update this when California comes online, but that's all that is. We did create a terms and conditions page. It's just a copy page. We do not ask them to, agree to our terms and conditions or anything along those lines. This is all just copy that they can read. Basically, it's just there for their own notice. Contact us is the same as the help button at the top. Freight shipping and parcel shipping are links to just the maps. So it's just a landing page where it will show them our freight map and our parcel map.
Click on the parcel one once. I just want to see. I didn't know there was that down there.
Sure.
So does it specify between the different carriers that we handle? Is that what that is, or on the side, the colors?
No, it's basically, it's pretty generic, but it's basically UPS, FedEx is essentially what
Okay.
the parcel is. I mean, it's basically using those two as a very generic shipping map. And then Facebook will take you to our Facebook page, which currently takes you off of the site, which I need it to not do. So I need to figure out how to do that or hide it. Okay, logging in. All of you should have a login. It's basically just your email address for PBE. Once you log in, you have this obviously goes away. You can come up here and you can sign out. You have an option for my account. I'll go into that in a little bit. And then we just have kind of a welcome to whoever whatever your name is. You can always click to see your order history here. The other thing I'll point out is this is always going to be a 3M static banner because 3M helped pay for this. We kind of agreed that we would do this for them.
That's worth it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so to move on to a couple of different options. At the top here, we've got order, and this is basically the shopping list. A customer can have any number of shopping lists that they want, and they can customize to say what they want that list called. So if you have a store with 5 different locations and you want to do location 1, location 2, location 3, location 4, and those are going to be the shipping addresses for those, they can have 5 different lists if they want, or they can
How long will the stuff stay in their baskets?
forever until they place the order, essentially. So they can do that. They can get into a shopping list by just picking it and then clicking on it, and it will take them to that particular list. Or they can choose the option here to create a new list, and essentially it will just, it will create a blank empty list for them to add products to. Test list 1. Create. So now I have test list 1, but there's no items in it. And you can see 2 items, $695 is what is in here. So if I want to look for a product, I'll just use the one that I've been using, FE416. So one of the neat things, I'll do this. One of the neat things about this is it kind of has an autofill option. So if you start typing in, and one thing I'll backtrack a little bit, we're fixing this right now, but right now we have product priority set. So unless you're typing in SKU, which our SKU as a part of this is the 3-digit manufacturer code followed by the part number. And most of our customers are going to look for part number. They're just going to type in 416
Right.
And hit enter, and hopefully the FE shows up because that's what they're looking for. We are prioritizing. We're in the process of having Oro prioritize part number first, then SKU, then our own product rank. So we have on the back end set up a specific product rank where 3M and Excel are primary items. So they will appear higher in a search. So if I'm looking for microfiber towels and I Google, or I come in here and I type in microfiber, the first product that's going to show up will probably be either a 3M or an Excel microfiber towel, whether it's our highest selling item or not, because we want them to buy our products first. So, so that's that. And if we do delay go live, ultimately we'll probably get this implemented first. Because if you look right now, if I just type in 416, it's finding exactly what it's finding this match, but it didn't bring in FE at all. It brought in Toucan 416, and then it brought in these 3M SKUs, probably because those 3M SKUs have 416 in the UPC code or whatever it is.
Oh.
So we are deprioritizing UPC and we are prioritizing part number.
That's good.
That's good.
We will make that change.
But if you put in the word metal glaze, what will come up?
Then it'll bring up the 3M
Okay,
stuff
so it's
first.
bringing up some stuff.
So it's still going to bring in, it's going to bring in glaze because it's looking for, so what it will do is it will, if you're typing in via a word,
416 is
it
metal
will
glaze.
first look
Mhm.
for what matches in the product title, then it will scan the product
What I
description.
would like,
Isn't it
what I
strange?
do like the suggested categories if you go over and click on like glazes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it didn't bring up. It didn't bring
In
up
that window there,
416
Right in the
at
same
all.
window.
Is there more options
Oh,
below
right here.
those?
Yeah. Like you can click on that and it'll bring you up.
that.
Then you can,
And you can scroll
it'll bring
down
up a
and
whole
it's-
bunch of them.
Just a second. So it's
That's what I like
prioritizing all 3M products because we set 3M as a higher priority. That's why that's doing that.
It gives you like a subcategory on the left there to.
Yes.
As far as if you,
if you don't see what you're looking for right at the very top,
yeah,
I mean, and it's not going to be perfect. I mean, if I type 416, there's no guarantee I'm always going to get FE 416. So,
right.
but if I come in here, it might not be one of these 4 that I'm looking for.
It gives you
but
3
I can click and I can see all 192 products. I can
Okay.
go to polishes, I can go to microfiber towels, or I can go to glazes, because basically anything that has the word glaze around it, it could be any one of these suggested
Oh, that's kinda
categories,
small.
or it could be any one of those products.
Or just as a CL 192 products, it's kind of small. Too bad it's not on the left-hand side or something. Or
What?
that little area right there, I think people would miss that CL 192 products to click on that. I'm saying, so it doesn't really highlight out.
Yeah.
We saw
It doesn't
readers
really
too.
blow up. I don't know.
So
if it'd be
it's
that
small because it's like 20 feet away from you.
Yeah.
But it's then people just see suggested products.
Well,
They don't
it's
really
not
read that part.
highlighted.
Well, think
I
about
didn't see
think
it.
about your own screen resolution and everything. There is going to be growing pains with this. I mean, these are things that we're going to have to explain to people. We'll walk them through it, and they'll get there. I mean, we can't. It's not going to be perfect. We're not going to get everything right 100% of the time. So now that we're in the product search, it would help if I cleared out.
But you can just hit glaze and hit enter
Yes.
without hitting the
Yep.
CL 192.
Yep, and this is essentially what it will. I mean, you can type in glaze, hit enter, and then you can refine. So now, what you can do is this little sliders here. These are the filters. So when you click on that, it will pop them up, and you can filter by generic text. You can filter by the actual SKU number. So I only want to see. So in this case, let's say I only want to see glazes. Well, that's a stupid example. Let's see how this works. I want to see glazes with 416. So I can filter where the SKU contains, does not contain, or is equal to. So you can do that. You can filter by the product name. You can filter specifically by manufacturer. So it will allow you to just check. So I want to see Evercoat, and I want to see Polyvans. And then you just click out, and now you'll see only Evercoat and Polyvans products in here. You can filter whether something is in inventory or not. So if there were any of the part numbers in here that were out of stock, the option would show up in here. It says in stock, out of stock, and it would tell you how many there are.
How's that do? Based off reorder flag or based off of inventory status?
It's based off of the nightly dump of inventory status. So if we run out of something, let's just say, because this is something we found. So let's say there's an item that runs, somebody orders the last of it tonight. We close the books on the day. It flags out of stock. The data dump comes in, and it's out of stock. So you'd see it as out of stock on the website. But let's say at noon, the shipment comes in, we D6 it into inventory, and now there's amounts there. Well, I can click on the product and I can see the live inventory, but it's technically out of stock. It's a bug. It's not perfect, mainly because that's not a flag that's directly readable into SVC. The inventory is a live call. So the inventory is the one you should pay more attention to. But it might be confusing sometimes, but I'm hoping that that's not a huge issue. Otherwise, we'll find a way to work around it. And then you can filter by part number. One thing I will say that is nice about this site, what we can do is we can build families of products. So where everything you see now is currently an individual part number. Let's just say Metal Glaze Ultra. Well, Metal Glaze Ultra is available in 16-ounce pouch, 32-ounce jug, 5-gallon pail, and so on and so forth. What we can do is we can create a family product that basically says, okay, we're just going to create one for Metal Glaze Ultra. And in that, we're going to add 16-ounce pouch, gallon pail, 4-gallon pail, 32-ounce, whatever. All of those products get in there, so you only see this once. And then when you go onto the product, you can say, I want 3 pails, I want 2 pouches, and so on and so forth. The other thing that allows us to do is it allows us to add filters in here. So we can say, I want to see anything available in 16-ounce pouches. I want to see anything that's available in green. I want to see anything that is glove-sized extra large. I want to see anything that, if for gloves, I want to see anything that is chemical resistant or anything that's blue or whatever the case might be.
Mm-hmm. Can you put in 4X paint suit?
4X paint suit?
Yeah. Because we have some, right?
If it's available, yes, because we can group the paint suits into a family and we attribute a product attribute to it, and eventually we will be able to do, it's based on size, so small, medium, large, extra large, 2 extra large, 3, 4 extra large, and then size would be one of the filters that shows up in here.
Yeah, it would be a filter.
And I can say, only show me paint suits available in 4X. So that will be eventually, it's a down the road thing, but we need to perfect it a little bit more, and we got to get the site.
Does Amazon have filters like that? Because if you put in
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. So on the left-hand side of Amazon, that's all of those filters. This will be a huge undertaking because we have to write out all of what we want, and then we have to build it, and it's going to be a huge thing. And we'll probably start with 1 or 2 super easy ones and move on from there, just because it's a lot.
It's always growing.
And it is always growing. But you know what? The way I see it is if we do it with some of the most popular products, we don't have to do it with everything. So start with some fillers and some clears or whatever it might be, gloves, paint suits, things like that. So once you have everything filtered in, you can do a couple of different things. So you can, up at the top, I'll just go through this list. You can select all, and it will come through, and it will put a checkbox in all of these. So let's say I want to add them all to my list. I can choose, add to my quick order list that I created at that time. I can go to add my test list, or I can create a whole new shopping list for these items, and I can drop them into whatever shopping list I want. The other option is select none, and if I had them all checked, it will just uncheck them all. And then I can't do anything with choose action because I don't have anything checked. I can choose to show, again, how many records I want. I can change this to show me 100 different things. Here are my sorts, so I can sort by SKU, recently purchased, so show recently purchased newest first. Let's see what shows up. So now these are all things. So these two, I know I've put our orders in for these items. So that's why it's sorting them best based on that. And then MSRP and part number. You can sort low to high on all of those. So I said this to the other group. I'll say it to you guys. MSRP is the only price we can filter on because your price, this price, is not necessarily jobber price. It's not necessarily a specific static price. It is a live called price. So that's why. The filter, you can turn them on and off if you want to save room on the page or if you want to, bring them in. This is grid view. So it's basically just product and information. There is an option for list view. So this will basically just be small thumbnail image. It will, if there's a product description, it will bring in the product description, and then it still has all the other options that are in here. I'll show those in a minute. And then there is generic list view, which basically just takes away the image. That's all that does. So looking at an individual product on here, they can bring up the image, they can zoom in, and as we get the higher resolution images added in, they'll look a little bit nicer.
So you can't hover over that picture once you've opened it up larger and view writing on the bottle?
In some cases you can. Now this is a lower resolution image. I'm trying to think, do I have... is one of these I'll try to find one. I'll see if I can find one that's a much higher resolution image.
Sometimes people need to read how many ounces or something goofy on it.
Yeah, so this is here's a sample. So if you click into it, you can do that.
That's what I thought.
Magnify. But this is a higher resolution image, so I can see part number, I can see size, and so on and so forth. But now if I go into the product, if I go into the product here, now if I hover over it,
Okay.
I want
Is
it
that the larger image? Sure.
here.
Oh, good. Like
So now it will zoom in. I can see that. So that's what that will do.
That's helpful.
I think somebody's on Amazon a little too much.
Let's face it, Amazon is the basis for which everybody sets their web browsing experience.
Sure.
Web purchasing experience.
I hate Amazon.
So the other part in this column, I will go through the PDF builder in a little bit, but basically they can choose PDF builder and it will default that product in the PDF builder ahead of time for you. So I'll show you PDF builder in a minute, or in a little bit once I get through everything else. Availability is a live lookup.
I
So
hate
this will
that
automatically look into this so they can see what the inventory level currently is. What?
I hate that part because it'd be like a $2 box of a Vico, and they're like, "Well, you have it in Florida, and I'm prepaid on outs." And it's like,
Oh, I know.
you're gonna make
I
me
know.
ship you $8
$2 fucking
Well,
thing.
shipping fee for a
at least
$2
now
item.
they're not calling you trying to figure out if it's available as an out.
Well, and here's
So we can make it another phone call.
well, and here's I'll show you something here in a second. All right.
Hide that from certain customers.
All of them.
So the next one, if they hover over the your price, if that individual customer is set up on multiple tiered pricing and that price is lower than whatever their price is, it will show them the tiered pricing. So let's just say,
Customers are set up that way. Like, give me an example.
so I don't know, I can't give you an example of a customer.
Do you know that, Tony, to be?
What was
It's
it?
essentially looking at QP1 and QP2.
Oh,
is
that.
what it is.
Okay.
Are you talking about the multi-tiered pricing? You're talking about like if they buy it in case quantity?
Yeah. So
Oh,
essentially,
okay, my
let's
bad.
let's just say their everyday price for one is $27.79.
Okay.
If I buy 6 of them, so if I buy a case, their price might be $27.25. If they buy a pallet, their price might be $25.50.
It's gonna show all that right there.
It will show that there, assuming they are set up on that, and assuming this price isn't the lowest price. Their lowest everyday price. In most cases, most customers, this is going to be the lowest everyday price.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way most customers are set up. But if we have someone who's set up on straight jobber and we have quantity buys in there, it will show them for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all right. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to say, let me just add 5 here, add 3 here, and then I'm going to go up here and say I'm going to add to my test list. Okay, so now you can see these 2 items are currently in my shopping list. So you can see that. Go away. All right. So now if I want to check out, I can come in here, I can choose whatever list I want. So this is basically their verification screen of all of the different items that they have. Essentially, only 1323 is needed to meet prepaid freight. Only 123 is needed to meet parcel. So that's going off of whatever their SBC amount.
Right.
Put in a box of Viscon Air.
So if I add 100 of these, now I've met my prepaid.
Put in a big item. Put in
Add
a
an
hazardous
865.
item.
Type in part number like 865-006.
What does it do with
What's the manufacturer?
Discount here. V-A.
8 what?
865-006.
Add one of these.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it.
Probably not
Nope.
expensive.
What do you want it to do?
It's oversized.
Well, no,
Okay.
take that FE down from 100 back to 1.
There you go.
So
It's probably not.
here,
Yeah.
it says this excludes oversized and hazardous
Oh,
materials.
Ah,
Sweet.
so if
So-
it's hazardous, it'll catch it too?
No. This is that's just a caveat.
Oh, okay. In general, so they have to pay attention.
I add enough to hit 147, and it says you hit
Oh.
free prepaid.
So it always.
But if I go in here and half of these items are oversized and the other half are freaking are hazardous, well, This is
Doesn't
just to tell
flag
them, hey,
you.
This
Okay.
excludes both of those things. So if you have hazardous and oversized, or either or,
But it won't
we're going to have a
flag you,
conversation.
tell you what's wrong with your order and saying this isn't
That's
going to be
what it should
prepaid.
do, is
No.
I don't know how it could do that. Though.
If we
Well, you
have
can put it on
rules in
the
SBC, we can put that stuff in here. It would take programming. It would take several hours.
Because
But
you're
we-
going to get the idiot that's going to call up and it'll say on the
Why isn't
top,
it prepaid?
pre-freight, and then they're not going to see that whole thing on the side, and they're going to be like, well, it said on the top that my order was prepaid.
Well, our old website probably didn't tell them.
I don't think it told them anything.
No,
So-
but I mean, that's what they're going to say.
You're not wrong. I'm just.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's just,
Well, and everything depends on whether or not the
You read it?
sizes are in Oro. We have the ability to enter in sizing so that we could say whether it is or isn't, but we'd have to get a file from the manufacturer saying what size packaging this is. It would then have to meld with UPS or FedEx
I wonder
Freight.
if you could create a report that told you, we do have a lot of items that say this item oversized when they're billing something.
Yeah.
Was that what it says, or what is it? What is the verbiage on it?
yeah, it just
If there's a field in SBC where we can flag oversized, in theory, all we would have to do is import that field and mark it in here. I mean, we could just do that. So if that's something that we run into as a problem, people are constantly complaining about it or something, I mean, it's definitely something we can look into. We would just have to go to the effort of going into SBC, finding a field for oversized, marking that field, and then importing the information into SBC.
It says 1 70-pound package too, so that's good.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So in here, I can individually add or remove items. So if I don't want this item in here, I can go ahead and delete it, and it will take that item out. Let's just say, for giggles, that this particular item, I don't have any in Wisconsin, but I do have some in Ohio and Illinois. I can go in here and it will automatically default all of my items to come from my default warehouse. But if I want to ship it from Illinois, I have the ability to do that. So now when I submit this order, it will create a ticket for Illinois, so Illinois can pick it and ship it.
nice.
And you don't have to do that.
Linda likes that one.
And then the other
I knew
item.
that.
That might end up costing us a ton of freight if the customer gets to choose. Well, I'm going to pick this one from Florida, just because. And even though Illinois,
Well, we're still looking. I mean,
And Randy made
it
a
just
sounds like
yeah.
if they have one
printer, but
prepaid
they still need
order.
to review the ticket.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm going to have to talk with John about is how we want to work that out, because you guys see that and you immediately see, well,
I mean,
they're going to
technically,
get this entire order from Wisconsin. They're going to have 2 items that are going to come from Ohio, and yeah, they hit their prepaid.
if like someone's ordering from Ohio that's got prepaid and they want one item out of here, and we're going to get that one item, how do we know that customer's prepaid or not? It's not going to say.
Yeah, that's something we're going to have. We need to troubleshoot. That's what the other group said,
there's going to be a lot of freight credits.
have to figure that out. So we'll have to figure that out. And now that we apparently have some extra time, it's something we can.
Well, yeah, you got extra time, do you?
Oh no. Well, and then now that we're delaying, if we're delaying go
Oh,
live an
I
extra
see.
couple weeks, it's something we can
Yeah.
spend the time to do.
I don't know how you.
I can delete the entire shopping list if I want to by clicking on delete,
You could just put total order on the order.
and I can either say yes, delete, or cancel, or I can duplicate this list for whatever purpose, and then it'll just give me a new.
When those orders print out, you could just put total orders dollars on there when it comes out on those 2 orders. That would probably
It should.
tell you
The dollar
No,
amount should come out of
between the 2 orders. Sometimes saying if you wanted to get that, so you know what else they have.
Oh yeah.
You could put somewhere in the message like total dollars or.
Yeah, the other option would be if it hits that threshold, it just adds a comment to every invoice, freight prepaid.
There you go. That would be fine. That would be.
Well,
that
that'd be
would
good for freight, but for parcel it wouldn't be good.
You do the same thing.
This is one.
I mean,
it's not good.
if it's $300,
But it could say
prepaid, or if it hits freight, then it ships from parcel prepaid to freight prepaid.
yeah,
The comment could just
Mhm.
Or just this is a prepaid order.
one package prepaid. Yeah.
All right, so then you can come in here and you can click Create Order. The new checkout page is just a single page checkout. They don't have to go through multiple different steps to check out. Billing information, they just choose where they want the billing address. Shipping, they come in here and they choose their shipping address. Because I have 2 different warehouses checked, if I want to pick up in Wisconsin, I can just come in here and say, okay, pick up Madison. And in the invoice under the ship via, it will say pickup.
Nice.
So that is going to be a slight change in the sense that the current one has it at the bottom of the invoice. This one is going to be at the top under ship via. So it will say pickup. Okay. The other thing that I will point out on here is there's going to be, hopefully by the end of this week, a checkbox right here that says drop ship / no paperwork. And that will add a comment in on the invoice, at the very top of the invoice, that will say drop ship, no paperwork. So that you know that something is being drop shipped direct to a body shop. Do not send any paperwork or invoice information.
Okay.
That was mainly done for Bob, but if there are customers who do that regularly, that's something.
There are a lot of customers that
Yeah.
do drop ship
Yeah.
through the internet.
Something to note, shipping is always an estimate. It is a rough guess. It is not perfect by any means. What we did do is we went in and added a $4 shipping and handling fee so that it increases, so
Just
that
to
it's
cover it.
closer. But
Put estimate on there?
So it'll never be
it
too
says
low.
estimated shipping cost.
Oh, no.
Actual shipping cost calculated once order is processed. So it's there.
Okay.
Order summary, so this is each individual line item telling them exactly how many they ordered and how much it's going to be. If there are 300 items in here, which there is no limitation to the cart size, and I've added 100+ items to a cart and it doesn't appear to slow down, so they should be able to do that. They're going to have to scroll all the way down. It makes it real.
So this new one will actually calculate the actual shipping cost for you?
Estimate.
Okay, so that's just
Only. And
okay.
that's what this says. It says estimated shipping cost, actual be
Always going to be estimated because we got FedEx, Speedy, UPS.
Can we put that on the order though?
It's only, it doesn't get put on the order.
Should we? Because in case it is nowhere near what they actually get charged.
Yeah, that makes me nervous. Who Just Right did that, and Hobby catches them all the time on
Really?
theirs because the item will be oversized,
Yeah.
and then it calculates for the weight
I mean, if you
or
got
something.
Yeah, this calculates based on weight, not size.
Why do we need that on there?
I would ask John that question.
Yeah, I don't
Because if
think we want.
We did it because we wanted them to have
something.
at least
something.
at least an idea of like, hey, you know,
Yes. Here's roughly what it might cost us to ship
Calls
this
up and
to you, or what your shipping cost might be. It's an estimate.
padded, you said,
It's
right?
close. It's reasonable. But like if it's an oversized item, it definitely goes up quite a bit.
If it is off, then we can also modify that. If we see that on an order and if we see it's like, oh, it's $20 instead of $11.47, we can look at that and adjust the site.
Yeah. Yeah, we could. If we're noticing that that's something that's way off and we need to pad it more, just to, hey, everything is automatically $10, no matter what. We can do that. But
how come there's no option for UPS and or Speedy?
we only integrated FedEx.
Oh, okay, you did.
And that's why it's only an estimate, because someone might look at this and say, well, it's not coming FedEx. It doesn't matter how much that amount is.
Right.
This is just a FedEx
Just a reference.
reference for them. Yeah, it was just to give them
If our order was prepaid, would it still show an estimated shipping cost?
It should go to 0. Here, actually, if I go back out of here, let's just say I want 50 of these. That should hit my. Okay, so now I hit 1, but I didn't hit freight. So here you can see parcel package delivery, 70 pounds or less. This excludes customers. So now so it's still estimating it, but I have a note, you've achieved free. See that it's free. So,
I don't know that one would be because it's too many boxes. Maybe.
50 6 packs.
At this level, we want to bump them up anyways.
Yeah.
To get prepaid.
So that's, but it's just there. So now you can see, I did that and now the warehouse that I want to get it from doesn't have sufficient inventory. So I can order it. It'll back order it for the customers who can receive back orders, or we can ship whatever we want. Adding a note. Eventually, the note after the implementation this week, those notes will show up at the top of the invoice, so they can type a note in and it will come through. The PO will come through, I think, up to 18 characters. They can type whatever they want in there, but only the first 18 characters are going to come through.
So it's not in the body of the ticket anymore. The notes aren't. They're somewhere at the top of the invoice now.
At the top of the ticket.
Oh, okay. So probably in the
At the
body.
top of the ticket. It will be the top of the body of the ticket. Yep. The other thing they can do in here is they can add an individual item note, and it's just like adding the slash note underneath the item. It brings that through.
Can we change that so it shows the last 18 digits?
Huh?
Can we change it so it shows the last 18 digits? Because that makes more sense.
Sure, Williams is gonna get cut off in it. Well, I'm not saying some people customers
no.
that they have on the POs.
No, essentially we can't. I mean, in theory, but at this point,
Can you put a
the only person I've seen or I've spoken to yet who's using a PO longer than 18 characters is Bob. I don't think. Everybody else should know what our limitation is from the previous website, because the previous website had limited to 15 or something.
Yeah, it was way less.
So it was way
that?
less.
Can you know that in the PO field, 18 characters?
I could probably figure out a way to get a tooltip in there.
Mm-hmm.
PO limited to 18 characters.
That would, because then people would modify it based off that.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So then we come in here, you can click place order, and then it will take you to the screen actually. Here.
Please place items on Joe's.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
In his car.
Mm.
Got a
directly.
whole cart full of stuff.
Yeah.
Pick up.
So,
Enter a PO number. Try to enter.
yeah, I should have.
See if it would what it would have shown, or if you entered more than 18.
I gotta remember to go in and cancel these tickets. All right. So confirmation email, they get a confirmation email with all of the specific items that they ordered. It's just a confirmation. They will get another one once their order ships.
As an email.
Okay. So now we'll come up into my account. My account, they can update their profile information anytime they want. They can add their name, they can add their email, or they can add their birthday, they can change their email, so on and so forth.
Ship tos?
Address book. Address book allows them to add addresses, but it does not allow them to add ship tos. If they want an official ship to, they have to call in and have it entered into SBC. They can add an address, and that address will come into SBC on the order. So they can set up multiple addresses to ship directly to, but it does not add. There's absolutely no way for SBC to accept information. So if they want it to be a permanent ship to, it has to be added in.
So in the case of Bob, he's got a whole bunch of ship tos in our SBC system.
Yep.
Will they show up on here for him also, so he can still choose?
Yep. In fact, it'll show up exactly the same way it shows up in ours, where it'll be the ship to code and then the address.
It's crazy. He has so many ship tos, it's crazy.
I know. So basically, company addresses, my addresses. So these are the ones. Company addresses are the actual addresses from SBC. My addresses are addresses that have been added on the fly.
Oh, okay.
I have added these.
Okay, and you can save them. Interesting.
Users, this is just users that this individual can create. So each customer has the ability to create their own other users. So they have the ability. So I could create, if I'm the owner, I could create a separate user for my purchaser. I could create another one for my counter person. I could create another one for my sales guy, whoever I want. And now they all have their own separate access. I'm not worried about them coming into my account, adding a bunch of crap into an order, and then submitting an order that I don't necessarily know about. That way, it's a lot more secure in that way. Okay.
You can't put a title in there or nothing like that, I suppose, then? If they wanted to, you know what I'm saying, like a title, like, for
Yeah,
them.
you can roll.
There
No.
you go, no, roll, there you
No, title is not one. That is probably a field we will eventually add, though. Because once we implement the CRM, title will probably be a field that we'll need to implement onto this.
That won't show up on our tickets, though, so we'll never know who to call back if we have
go. That would be,
questions.
that
You
would
would just call back.
Awesome.
Yeah, you would just call back. You know, if it's the PO that they use, or if Brad is the PO, you know, I call back. and
Ordered
talk
by
to
would be
Brad,
nice, wouldn't it?
whatever.
Yeah.
ordered by,
Yeah.
Now, on the back end, someday on the back end, if we get everybody access to the CRM and the back end access to this, in theory, then you could
Sure, who
easily
placed
come
it.
in and see. Okay, I'm gonna search by this company. I want to see who placed this order, in which
Okay.
you could see roles. So each user has the ability to customize their own role within their organization. So if they have a counter person who they don't want to see maybe they don't want them to see their price, but they want them to be able to come in and check inventory, they can do that. I have it set up right now as an administrator who is going to see anything and everything. So if I have 5 locations and I have a store manager at each location, and that individual is going to be placing orders, I will see all 5 shopping lists from all 5 of my different store managers. There's an option in here for admin with separate carts, so I can give each of my store managers this role, and they will only see their own carts. And then I have an option for buyer, where basically it's just they can go in, they can log in, they can add items to a cart, they can buy. I can create another one for counter person or whatever role we want. It's just a matter of playing with security enough.
You can add items to other, like administrators' carts.
Yep.
Okay.
So maybe you give somebody the ability to go in and build a shopping list, and then they have to have it approved before they can purchase it.
They can still
submit
add
to
to
the
it.
administrator, and then that person can say, "Yep, we'll buy this." So, request for quote is something we're not really going to be using right now, but it's here. They have the ability to come in here and add in a particular set of items. So this will pre-populate with a lot of their information, add in their information, PO, etc. They can add the product that they want, and they can come in and say, I want to buy 180 of them, and my target price is $12.20. And they can say, okay, submit this request. Down the road, what will happen is that request will come in either to one of you guys or a sales rep or whoever. You'll see it on the back end and say, well, I can't do $12.20, but I can do $13.40. And they say, yeah, then they can say, okay, add that to my order and go. The only problem is now it doesn't accept the pricing. SBC doesn't accept website pricing. So it's either if we add the functionality into SBC, or if we change to a different ERP, then that functionality might work. But otherwise, if you agree on a price, essentially you just have to create the order manually in SBC and modify the price. So
So that quote can never be turned into an invoice, you're saying? Because
correct.
it can get missed.
Because the pricing won't be modified, essentially.
Makes sense.
Order history is basically the entire history of everything they've ever ordered. So you'll see everything in here. Now, what we are working on, and will hopefully be implemented very, very soon. So they will be able to go in and pull up this order. Here's the line item of everything that was ordered. Soon, what they will see is in front of this product, just to the left of the actual product title, will be the SBC invoice number. So in this case, this one came through Illinois, so I would see the SBC invoice number of 300 whatever it is, and this one came out of Wisconsin, I would see the invoice number 100 whatever. So that would be, individually we'll see that by product number. Previously purchased, this is basically everything they've previously purchased. They can come in here and see whatever. They can go in and reorder it. They can add it to a new list. They can do whatever they want. But this is just frequently bought items, essentially. Marketing info ties directly to Build Flyer. So we'll come back to Build Flyer here right now. You can see You have a company name. I have a logo in here. I need to mess around with this a little bit. But basically, that's probably why it didn't do it. It's probably way too freaking big. I get it. Well, let me see if I can find a smaller. I don't have a logo, and I'm guessing this computer isn't tied to the. Well, it's tied to the S drive.
What about
Go into pictures, right?
Yeah, there aren't any.
Tony and his lockouts? How many times do they have to log in before they get the boot if they get their password wrong?
It's set to like 10.
Okay, so if they do it 10 times, then they're in a bunch
Then
more.
they lock out. But otherwise, they can always just click forgot password and they can reset their own password.
Okay, so then.
I'll show you that in a second.
So Tony doesn't have. They don't.
I'm not doing it anymore.
No, you should never have to reset their password for
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah,
Well, 10's a lot of times to try.
Sure it is.
Yeah, so you're right.
Figure it out after.
You're right, we should never have to.
So build flyer. Here. I'll show you that, and then I'll walk you through relog. But so build flyer. Essentially, they can add in their own logo however they want to, but it will default to whatever the other logo is. Come on, please silence your cell phones.
Middle of a movie here.
Hey, you got T-minus 3 minutes now.
I know.
Silence your watch.
Here, this is where they can create their own custom flyer. So they can add in up to 4 products. They can set their own special price. So I want the
Cool.
special price to be, $35, $50, $2, just because I accidentally hit the 2. And then they do basically, buy Abercode.
On there and everything then, huh?
Yep.
That's cool.
Evercoat and save whatever they want to do for good through however long it is, and then they choose the option. So they can add up to 4 products, but basically this will automatically create the product for it. We need to go through. I didn't realize what it was doing, but it's expanding the logo from the line card.
yeah,
and
'cause you
so we need to do
have a
something
logo.
about that. So I'll.
Well, isn't it only because you didn't have a logo for it to?
No, I add, so my logo will be down here, but this will, in fact, this only stretches this much because it's one product on one sheet. If you do up to 4, let's say you do 2, it'll be top and bottom. If you do 3, it'll be side by side and bottom, and if you do 4, it'll be a 4 quadrant page. So it's a.
Why do you think it's expanding that logo?
Why does this say
Because-
Merck at the bottom of the page?
That's the logo I took. I added it.
I saw that too. It's that
So,
yellow mercury.
Essentially what it's doing is it's taking the logo in the system and it's expanding it to the size it needs it to be on this
Oh,
page
to fit the page.
From the
So
line
if you
card, you
had
mean?
4 on there.
from the line card. So I'll have to talk to Nick and we'll have to figure out how we want.
Change it to 4 once and see if it changes it drastically. Or
Change
can't
what?
you do it? Change it to 4 products on that page?
I can do that. Let's see.
Maybe that'll,
All right, give me 4 products. Anything.
be 157.
Feet 420.
I was going to say that next. Jinx.
FE 125.
And FE 838.
Oh, didn't take it. Oh, why did
FE
it?
125.
Yes, I'm a German.
Karma.
Oh, why did it do that? That's wrong. FE. Oops.
We just lost a bunch of stars right there.
5. There it is. Okay.
Oh, did those other ones not have images?
No, they will.
No, the ones that failed.
No. It was just I hit enter too fast. It didn't find the product in here, so it'll be fine.
Joe was zooming.
we get the service.
All right. So let's just say, all right, I want to go ahead and build my flyer.
You'll build now.
So it only does 4, but you can add them.
4 is the max. If you try to add another one, you'll get a message.
Oh, it's still expanded it. Okay.
So it's still expanded it, but now you can see. So now this is a good example because it's using the product description that we have in here, the rest of these don't have short descriptions, so that's why you can see that they don't have them in there.
That's a mess.
But we can add them in, and it will once they're in, it will look a lot better. But it still expands that, and you can still see
Looks like Ryan's got a job for the rest of her life. She
pretty
comes.
much adding short
Audit does that
descriptions and
shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
I know, that's something that is a non-ending. But
I know.
well, think of it this way though: when I do the new part email, I go in and add long description, short description.
Just when you're getting new products, you're saying.
Yeah. So moving forward, everything should.
Okay, well, you're only 25, 30 years behind.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Someday. So basically in here you can see, all right, here's the part number, here's the description, here's the list price, here's the special price. So, but that'll be basically product image, everything, and now
That's your
at the
logo.
bottom you can see, here's my company's logo, my
Okay.
company, stuff like that. So,
Never eat there. Never. I went there to try it once in Orlando. It's the worst service I've ever got.
no kidding?
Yep.
Oh, I love it. I love good Joe's Crab Shack.
I would have liked it, but
If they wouldn't have screwed up and been terrible.
no, they did. They sat us down and
Oh, forgot about you?
Thought it was Ed DeBevick's.
Big fan of Ed
a better service there than I did at Joe's Crab Shack.
Oh, really? That
I
bad?
know.
Oh.
All right. So the last thing I will show you
Here's your menus. Just throw them at you.
is this quick order. There are 3 ways to quick order. They can do an upload just like they can with the current site. They can come in here and they can type in the SKU and then the quantity here. So they can just type in FE416 quantity 5 and it will add. And then they can basically either create the order, get a quote, or they can add to a quick order, or they can come in here and they can like copy and paste an item. So if they come in here and do FE416, 5, and then I can come in here verify. If you look FE416,
Get the hell out of here.
it adds it right
But
in.
they have to know to put the comma in? Does it say somewhere how to?
I don't know that they have to. I think it might just be a FE.
411.
411.
Enter.
No, he's got.
Yeah, oh, then you gotta verify.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So you don't have to put the comma in.
Okay.
You just have to, there has to be a space, because otherwise it's gonna think that it's a.
Another part of the
It's
part
another
number.
part number.
So you do have to put the space after FE and then space.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. FE part number, that's all one.
Oh,
that's
then
all
space
one
quantity,
continuous
okay.
string, and then space.
What if you put
What if
FE?
you did
What if
FE
you put
space?
FE space 416 and then the quantity?
It won't take it, I'm guessing. FE4166 invalid format.
So
Okay.
it tells you right away. Okay, that's good.
That's good.
And then it's like,
So
oh,
now it's reading it appropriately.
I'm just used to hitting space at
I can come in here and say MMM 2085, thank you. I want 9 of those.
You have to put the quantity every time? Can you just put 2085?
God damn it, Tony. What do you want?
We'll add them in.
Can
What?
you just put 2085 and then you can
Oh, will it
change
just
quantity?
choose one?
2085?
Oh,
Without putting a quantity?
Enter.
No.
Invalid.
Try MMM 2085 with no quantity.
What does it say if you go overstocked quantity?
Don't like it.
Okay, don't.
Not like that either.
Good. At least that part's kind of
Overstuffed?
dummy proof for the
So,
people.
yeah,
Yeah. So what happens at this point if you're trying to order more than we have on the shelf?
it'll probably just back order it. Well, and you still, regardless, you say add to quick order, and then I still have to. So, if you can either add to quick order or you can create the order, and it will take you directly to the checkout screen.
Mm-hmm.
It will tell you when you go to the checkout screen insufficient inventory, and if that's the case, then you're going to have to come into your order, and you're either going to have to choose a different warehouse.
Okay.
I don't have anything that doesn't fit.
Right.
So you'll either have to come in here and choose a different warehouse, or you'll have to just go through and let it back order the missing. So, and someone brought up in the last one, what happens if a customer doesn't accept back orders? I need to figure that out because I don't 100% know if a customer can't accept a back order, if it just kills the ticket, if that's something SBC.
Mhm.
You know, because if SBC doesn't allow the customer to have a back order, I'm guessing it will just auto kill.
I was going to ask you, what do you do if they try to back order a drop ship only item? So you think it'll kill it then maybe? Like, would Broncore be like a drop ship only item, or,
Like what?
what's one of their numbers, a
One?
repair
M
kit?
232.
232, there you go.
Oh, that's the shaker.
So WES for Western, it's actually
Okay.
Western. And then M232.
232?
There's a
This guy?
Yeah,
So,
you can add it to your quick order.
yeah, because I mean, it would just come in on the normal order, and then if you guys are doing the drop ships, you just have to enter it in as drop
So
ship.
it won't leave a
Yeah,
note or
kinda
something
like how,
saying
you know,
drop
kind-
ship only?
kinda
It'll
how,
still
like-
be in the description. Like it
Why do we have
always
that
is.
other showrooms in Western?
Kind of how, like, when,
Yeah, it's not even
somebody
Bronco
orders
anymore,
their
right?
paints
Now
on
it's
their-
what, Dito's?
So behind in that shit.
kind of like how somebody orders.
Yeah, all of those. I mean, we're slowly going in and adding.
Oh, I see it says repair kit drop ship from Dito's. So
There you
will
go.
that message show up on the invoice, you think?
Boy, I sure hope so.
Well, it's
That's
like,
our-
well, it's
that's
like,
our-
you
what's
know,
our
when like Blue Rock
C-suite
orders
says.
a bunch of Bink stuff and it's all, some of
Yeah.
them are drop shipped, you just gotta catch the damn
Yeah.
note, the
True.
description on the thing, so it'd be the
Yeah.
same thing with this.
That's true.
But it would be nice to have
Still
a
a
prompt
learning
to be
Yeah,
like.
that's a
hey,
good question. I
we
might,
have a Dito's item that,
because I'm assuming that we'll have to. I'm assuming that we'll have to address that. So, all right.
Should have changed spots.
Anything else? Can you just put 416 on top and it'll come up with everything 416? Search?
I tried that.
Come on, Tony.
Anything?
I thought we already did that.
This is going to be anything with 416 in it, though. Anything with the UPC, or the part number, in the description,
Go
anything.
to page 2 for a second.
Oh, that's right. You're going to change this. That's right.
Yes, that's going to be changed.
Page 2.
Yeah.
So I'm used to when I go to page 2 and I want to go back to page 1, I usually hit the back button on there.
Mouse,
Of the browser.
which
And
it should work.
When I do that, it does that. It completely kicks me out. And goes.
I think that I
It
tried
doesn't
that
go
too.
back a page. It just goes to the previous screen.
Really?
Which I don't.
Yeah, I should
I
go back
just
to the
noticed that's
existing page.
Yeah, either that or
Just scroll all the way to the bottom again.
yeah, we might have to add that like right up
Yeah.
here or something to go back, or because you're right, that's not. Okay, we'll look at that.
Oh, you didn't write anything
You
else
didn't
down
write
there.
any of mine down.
You know what, I'm out of here.
Yep, that's it.
I'm out.
Done.
He's actually a huge brain, he's just gonna remember it all.